Hey there fellow mobile gaming fanatics, I'm MyTyme, this is WWE Supercard, and just as I play a couple of games maybe of exhibition, I'm going to go over a few things given that we are now going into the early hours of Wednesday morning, and that, excuse me, that means, how am I going to do this? Let's go this way. That means that we are very close to the Money in the Bank rewards being reset. Yep, so there's a couple of hours left, so I'm going to split this video into two parts. I'm going to show you the actual rewards later on. I'll add it onto the back of this video. Now, it has been confirmed that the two, should we say, top rewards in the SummerSlam are going to be SummerSlam cards, and they are going to be Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar. Now, the cards have been revealed. I'm not going to show you them here. As I said, it will come on the end of this video. Now, for a lot of people, I'm going to imagine that Randy Orton will be the card of choice because he will tag with that Finn event card. I have been saving my credits. I need to actually get quite a few more. I'm only at about 6,800, I think. I didn't bother to go for the Becky Lynch. I realised that it was going to be probably a little bit too unrealistic for me to be able to get enough to get her as a pro. So I've decided just to keep hold of these cards and see if they brought out some SummerSlam cards. So that is confirmed. So we'll go back here. We will go to Money in the Bank, and just under 2 hours. So I've got 6,900. Okay. So I'm going to actually crack on with these and see if I can get that first card sometime on Wednesday or Thursday. Now, how many contracts will it cost? We don't know at the moment. Well, I certainly don't know. You see, this Becky Lynch one was 9,920. Now, we're going to have to see if Money in the Bank is still going to run for 40 days again, if you're going to be able to get 2 contracts of each card, or if they're going to make you, for example, only get 1, and then you have to wait till the next Money in the Bank to get the other. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to guess that you will be able to get both pros from this next Money in the Bank. I think they're going to let people go ham, buying bout refreshers, etc, to try and get those SummerSlam event cards. Now, those of you who are lucky enough to get the Miz Pro or Rusev Pro, if you can make one of these a pro, for example, especially the Finn, and the Randy Orton tag, you're going to be absolutely sorted in King of the Ring in the meantime. Well, my King of the Rings, I said, are struggling at the moment. I'm just trying to see if I can get myself to the semi-finals and get a WrestleMania card. But before we do that, let's have a look at the rewards. The team event, the Miz was the SummerSlam card. Now, I felt so unlucky when I saw this because, okay, there's probably a reason why they've picked him, and it might not be because he's the Intercontinental Champion. It could be some other reason. He's a mid-tier card. As you can see, he's got decent charisma. He's got okay power. His toughness is a bit weak, and his speed's not great. But he's like mid-tier. He's not the worst card in the game at all. He's not a bad card to have as a pro. But if Apollo Crews maybe had have won the Intercontinental Championship, would he have been the card? The card that I pulled from the pack, could that have been a pro? I never know. I feel a bit unlucky like that. And we had a sub card of, can't show you here, but it was, I will show you from my WrestleMania because it did make a pro. So any of you who don't have that, this is the one which is done up, and this is my, should we say, second card now, so I can make Edge into a pro. The great news here is you can see I will have Edge and Cena can pro. That will be much better than having Luke Harper in as a compatible pro in King of the Ring. And it also means that if I wanted to, I can have a half decent pro here with Edge and John Cena, for example, and then I can free up my Sami Zayn card if I need to, or that, you know, got a more excuse me. Oh, my throat. I've got more, what do you call it, synergy with my cards. I'll be able to mix them up a bit more, so I can flick between having any of these cards as a single and then improve my tag if I need to. At the moment, that kind of Luke Harper as a single is pretty much going to lose to all the cards out there, with the majority of single other WrestleMania Pro cards, which aren't event cards, you're going to come up against, because he's not basically the worst card in the tier. So that's pretty good. So I'm quite happy with the team events. Now, I did join a new team to get into that. Let me show you guys. I'm going to say thank you to all of them for letting me in. You can see the breakdown: Jamie, Daniel, myself, Freddy the Best. I think Freddy's only here temporarily. Campus Science, Grant, Super Duper, Carl, iPad, and David. So I played this event a bit. Thought I'd try and make myself kind of available, try and get a few shards. So that thanks for taking me in. I joined in with quite a bit to go before the event started, but they invited me after. They put a post up in the chat, and yeah, team, I think it's called Spank the Monkey actually, and when we joined, it was still just with WrestleMania Plus. We managed to get into the SummerSlam tier, and pretty happy to get a Miz card now. There could still be some good news for me. As you see here, I have a fusion chamber waiting. It's been done for a little while, but I thought I'll get it on cam. So I'm going to pop this open. We're hoping for, well, ideally, a Rock, Triple H, or the best card I could get here would be Trish Stratus, because I can get that WrestleMania Pro. That is Trish Stratus' #1 priority here. If I don't get Trish Stratus, then I think I would actually want the Vince McMahon card and then one of the 2 mil Pro. So that's what we're hoping for. So fingers crossed. If I can get something decent here, it will really help my King of the Ring. Let's see. What's it going to be? It's Brock Lesnar now. I don't want to sound disappointed, because I'm not technically disappointed. It's just, yeah, as you can see here, any of those pros would have been awesome. It means I've got to wait. I'm going to be stuck again now. Do I have a... I'm pretty sure I have a super rare card. Yes, okay, so let's put this Bray Wyatt in very quickly. Yeah, not upset, because it's another WrestleMania card, and I could get closer to making myself another WrestleMania Pro in the future. But yeah, I would have preferred a Pro now, to be honest with you. Really preferred that Pro Trish Stratus. Would have gone a long way. Helped me massively in King of the Rings, that I've heard to go with the Becky Lynch, and obviously my Charlotte, which would help massively. But we are where we are. I'm going to cut this off now. Anyway, I'm going to go back. I'm going to grind out a few more exhibition games, because I want to try and get a SummerSlam pull before I start training up more cards, because I've gone through a few resets doing the events and I've not had another SummerSlam pull yet. So the last thing I want to do is put in all my cards, do some training, and then get a WrestleMania card pop, and that'll be my top tier card taken. So I'm going to actually go back in, try and play a few games while doing Money in the Bank for the next couple of hours, and see if I can get that SummerSlam pull before I come and show you the Money in the Bank rewards. So I'm going to segue out here, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so we're back here with the new Money in the Bank rewards. Just under 35 days, as you can see here. So it's going to be 5 days shorter than the previous Money in the Bank. Now, before I go into that, I'm going to have a quick look at the current rewards for the Road to Glory. Just so you can all see here, we'll go past these few cards and we'll come up to Legendary and above. We have Ultimate Warrior, followed by Sting, followed by Neville, which I believe is a pro for me, followed by Sheamus, and then the Finn card at the top of the tree. Now, if you also notice, they have got rid of the uncommon. Did it used to be uncommon? Maybe I'm making it up. Or they changed the point slightly? I can't remember. I haven't done these events for a while. Anyway, right, before we do that, let's just click on Edit Deck, and I'm going to probably autofill and see what we come up with. Okay, so we can move into WrestleMania Plus. So it's going to be pretty imperative for me to, hopefully in the next, well, I don't need to do it in the next 24 hours because the event does go over the weekend, but certainly in the next 72 odd hours or so, I'm going to want to have that Apollo Crews Pro in here, the Edge Pro, and my John Cena. I'm going to want all three of them in here to replace these Survivor cards. and, you know, fully max out this Thin card, etc., and hopefully get that SummerSlam pull so I can start doing that training now. It's still eluding me, guys. I've had a few resets now and nothing. I've got a couple of epics, and I thought, oh, getting close at SummerSlam. Nope, straight back down to rare. But anyway, that's for another day. That's that done. Coming soon. So tomorrow, let's just, in fact, before we go, let's have another look at it. Let's come and actually look at the cards which we've gotten out. We'll go have a look from the SummerSlam up. Now, this Sheamus card, don't want to spoil anyone's party. If you've got a potential of getting this card, let's say maybe you can grind through all the +2s or +1s from WrestleMania. This could actually be your first SummerSlam card. It is awful. Okay, he is one of the worst 3 cards in the tier. Now, to give you kind of an idea, any stat above 1900 is pretty decent. If you've got above 1950, it's kind of like pretty OP. The best single stat on a card is 2001. Okay, so that's the most on a base SummerSlam card that a stat can be 2001. And I think the weakest is about 1750, somewhere around there. So if we use that to have a look at it, his best stat, power 1841, is meh. Okay, his toughness at 1815 is pretty bad considering it's his second stat. His speed is pathetic. And his charisma is one notch above pathetic. So the card is awful. It's an up arrow. There's quite a lot of up arrows. I mean, for me, the only reason you'd be happy to get this card is if you had him for a freebie or from a pack, and it would make a pro. Now, if it makes a pro, there isn't such thing as a bad SummerSlam pro when a tier is only a few days old. Okay, any SummerSlam pro would be awesome, but the card otherwise, it's just complete trash. Yeah, and then you've obviously got Finn as the event card. So on that slight down note, let's come back to the Money in the Bank. Now, I was going to, or in fact, I did do a video, and I've deleted it to redo this one because, let's just say there's some image problems. I can't get the images downloaded, okay, for the Brock or the Randy Orton card. Now, I did do a first thing when I predicted what was going to happen, so I'm going to do that again, although I actually know the answers now. But I guessed with 35 days to go until the next Money in the Bank in theory, or this Money in the Bank ends, I was assuming that that could be season 3. It's a bit soon. It's gonna basically come in the beginning of October, and I'm kind of thinking that could be the start of season 3. That will get them to get through another. At the moment, they could get through another, 4 events or so. But maybe they'd extend it. Maybe there'll be 2 Money in the Bank seasons. So maybe we'll be waiting until November-ish time. End of October, beginning of November, before they'll release season 3. I'm not sure. I do think that this might be fractionally early, but it would make sense if at the end of the Money in the Bank they released basically season 3. But 7,640 points for contracts sitting on at the moment. Now, I predicted, given that the Becky Lynch card for the Battleground for the WrestleMania in the previous Money in the Bank, although it did run for 40 days as opposed to 35, was going to be, that was 9,950. So I predicted about 12,000 for a SummerSlam card. And bearing in mind there's 2 event cards, so what they would probably do is make people pick between either or. But if we click on the contracts now, we'll come in and see 94.50. So they're offering 2 SummerSlam special cards. So you can't see the images, unfortunately, guys. I'll click on them in a moment. And 9,450 each. And you can pro them, okay? So there you go, claim 2. But just before we come to these cards, let's scroll down. I'm going to go from the legendary upwards. They're offering you a Naomi. So those of you that have just started the game, or maybe have been playing only for a little while, you could still be in Survivor tier, you could be in Epic tier, anything like that. Any diva is going to help you, okay? It will help in King of the Ring, it'll probably help you in Exhibition, help you in Road to Glory. So for those of you that aren't far enough in to get the top card, this is going to be a good addition. You then move into John Cena in the Survivor tier. He is one of the best cards. I think he's literally just behind The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's like on par with a card like Undertaker. So that's a very, very, very strong Survivor card to have. You move down, you've got Zack Ryder for the WrestleMania. Now, WrestleMania, Zack Ryder, he is okay. He's not awful. He's not one of the worst cards. If you are just pushing into WrestleMania tier, you'd probably have hoped for a slightly better card, but it's almost like they kind of this WrestleMania card, like they're basically telling people, don't spend your contracts on WrestleMania card. If you're in the beginning part of the game, get the John Cena. If you're mid towards late game, forget Zack Ryder. Just go straight for Kevin Owens if you're not going for the event cards, because Kevin Owens, and I'll click on him just to show you the difference between him and Sheamus, is one of the best cards. He is a top 10 card. He is, if you've picked him or you had him as your freebie and you're going to get to pro him now, amazingly lucky. He's a down arrow. There aren't a huge number of down arrows in the game. He is one of the best cards you could hope to get, because all round he can do everything pretty much if you look at him. So just remember that Sheamus, whose best stat was 1841, I think, in power. Kevin Owens' worst stat is 1870 in speed. Okay, so he would just absolutely annihilate that Sheamus card. And if you look, his power is 1949, so that is beastly. Okay, that's amazing power. Toughness 1923, that is solid. That is very good. His speed is decent. Okay, it's decent. It's not well beaten, but it's a decent stat to have. You will be able to put other cards to rest without touching speed. For example, if you were to come up against those mid cards, lower tier cards, Sheamuses, all that stuff, you can easily beat them in speed rather than touch your speed. And his charisma is borderline being pretty good, just under the 1900. So you could actually, if you really wanted to, you could all round stat this card, and it probably wouldn't be the worst thing you ever did. Personally, I'd have to see what the tokens did on each of the speed and the charisma before I decided if I was going to put tokens on them. If it's, say, like plus 44 for power but only plus 40 on speed, I'd leave the speed alone. If it's plus 40 power, plus 43 toughness, plus 43 charisma, for example, I would put a couple of tokens into the charisma once the power was maxed. But Kevin Owens, and then you move down to the Randy Orton and the Brock Lesnar. Now click on them both quickly just so you can see their stats, just see how they are compared to the regular SummerSlam cards. Randy Orton, right arrow, compatible with the Finn, as you can see here, 2,223 in speed, is godlike. And yeah, everything above 2,000, so these cards are going to comfortably beat the regular SummerSlam cards, and they're not a million miles away from that Finn card even. I'll show you the Finn card afterwards, but as you can see, we're going to compare that with Brock Lesnar, who's slightly different. He doesn't have that beast-like stat like Randy Orton. Randy Orton's speed was just going to kill everything, but he has almost got it in power, and as you can see, he's a bit more well-rounded. So if we go back to the Randy Orton, he's got 2133 in power, 2223 in speed, and his toughness and charisma lag behind, whereas Brock instead has power and toughness and speed. Okay, he's not great, but his toughness compared to, or his speed is his like third best stat compared to Randy Orton's, is like 30 points better, and his charisma is, just fractionally worse than Randy's. So between the two cards, I think Randy Orton's going to be a better one to get, because you've got that compatible tag with the Finn card. If we just compare that to Finn himself very quickly, do it in here because I need him to be non-touch, as you can see. So Finn there, 2209 in speed, so Randy Orton beats him in speed. 2128 charisma, so he's going to easily beat Randy Orton there. 2155 in toughness, he's going to destroy Orton there, and 2183 in power. I think he's fractionally stronger. I think Orton, what was he, 2172? 2172? 2133. Okay, so he's quite a bit, yeah. So as you can see, apart from the speed, that Finn card is going to, if you just level them up, it's going to free stat that SummerSlam Randy Orton card, but still, considering it's not an event card, it is not a bad card to get at all. So thank you for joining, people. Let me know what you think. What do you think is going to happen with Season 3 and with all these Money in the Bank rewards? What are you going to go for? Now, I'll be honest, 9,450 points is quite a lot to get. Don't get me wrong. If you want to pro out both of these cards, you're looking at, what's that? So that's basically 19,000 for a card. So you're looking at 38,000 contracts to do so. With it being 35 days, you're looking at just over 1,000 contracts a day on average to get that card. If you then also wanted to pro Kevin Owens, you've got to do over the 50k. I will definitely get one of these cards. I may try and get both, just because although they're not going to be used in the next tier, because this is going to be the end of Season 2, if you can transfer some of the images and stuff across to Season 3, then I will possibly take those images with me. But I don't know. But yeah, those contracts, if this is the end of Season 2, I don't know if the contracts will carry over into Season 3. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Only time will tell. But I think I'm going to go for that Randy Orton first, and I'll work again and see if I can get that Brock Lesnar. I don't think I'm going to make it for the Kevin Owens as well. But let me know which one you're going to go for. Let me know what you think about the changes. Is that too many contracts? Too little? What do you think of the cards? I wish I could show you the images at the moment, guys, but hopefully, seeing as this has just been released, that will be fixed in the near future, in the next video at least. If you haven't seen the cards, I'll be able to bring them for you. So, take care, people. I've been MyTyme. Thank you for watching. See you all soon.